One of the most important things to consider when you're taking a lease is what your repair obligations are. And one of the most important considerations to think about here is what you're taking a lease of. Are you taking an internal repairing obligation, which will generally be the case when you're taking a shop in a shopping parade or in the middle of town or in a shopping centre, or if you're taking an office in a multi-let office building. If, on the other hand, you're taking a lease of a standalone building, for example, a warehouse, then you would expect to have a repair obligation in respect to the whole of those premises. You really do need to have legal advice to consider your potential liabilities here. Repair obligations and the extent of the property you're actually taking a lease of are kind of buried in the detail of the lease, and it's therefore very important to consult us when you're considering taking a lease generally, and in particular your potential repair liabilities. It's very important to consider what a repair obligation means. Many people will take a lease, and if they see the condition of the premises, they will assume that there is no obligation to put it in any better state of repair than it currently is in. However, that's a big mistake, because it may be possible for a landlord at the end of the lease, or even before, to require the tenant to put the premises back into a condition that is better than they took it in. And clearly from a tenant, that's quite a disastrous position to be in. One very useful way of mitigating this risk from a tenant's point of view is to agree with the landlord a full schedule of condition of the property prior to entering into the lease. That schedule is prepared by a qualified surveyor, and it will then be appended to the lease as a record of the state and condition of the property at the date of the lease. Internal repair obligations mean just that. But if you have an internal repairing lease, the chances are it's a retail unit in a shopping centre or an office in an office block, then not only will you have to keep the property that you're in good repair, you will also have to contribute to what is called the landlord's service charge. The landlord will, in the great majority of cases, be responsible for the upkeep of the structure and exterior of the property, the common parts, landings, toilets, all of that kind of thing, and the landlord will look to you to pay either a fixed contribution or a fair and reasonable contribution towards its costs in keeping up the whole building. Service charge liabilities do vary, but at Wakesmith we often advise tenants to go for a fixed contribution, a capped contribution we call it, so that the tenant can know with some certainty, at least for the first few years of the term, perhaps until the first break, they know the limit of their liability to pay service charge. Repair obligations in leases are very complicated. It's therefore essential to take legal advice. We at Wakesmith are expert in providing such advice to put you in the best possible position.